You've been gone too long, King. Semen retention. Don't you know you've been gone too long? One of the hardest things about semen retention, why semen retention is so fucking hard, is because you have to know that this is your path. You have to know it. And you have to know it despite what anybody tells you. You have to know it despite what all the information out there on the internet tells you. What anybody's saying about it, what this person's saying about it, what the science says, what's proven, what your friends say, what your friends are doing, the lives that they're living, the lives that other people live, how your parents lived, how your brothers living, how your whoever. What people are saying about it, what people get in your ear and what they say about it, what people in the comments of YouTube videos, what they say about it. You have to get to the point. And this is the only way. This is the only way that this can be the path, that this can be your path. The only way is to know it inside of yourself. You have to know this to your core. You have to know it despite everything that even your mind is telling you. Not only are you battling the whole world is against you, it feels like. But you also have to battle all of the excuses in your mind, all of the rationalizations and justifications and excuses that you have made for yourself for years. Everything that you, the worst part of yourself, the lesser part of yourself, the darker part of yourself, we all have him. We are all dual. We all have the light and we have the darkness. You have to not listen to your dark side. Getting in your ear, telling you all these different things, trying to convince you that this is not, all the excuses, this isn't sustainable. Look at other people do fine not doing it. There's no proof for this stuff. You can do it every now and again. It doesn't have to be what as strict as you want it to be. It doesn't have to be this. This has to be something that is deep inside of you. This is like the crucial part of it. And it applies to a lot of aspects to life, and it's vital to actually, this one aspect, knowing the truth of something, regardless of what other people say, that specifically is so crucial to becoming a man. That is what it is to be a man. That is so essential. You need that. You need to know who you are, where you're going, what your path is. And nobody can tell you anything different. Nobody. Nobody. You have to get to this point. I see a lot of people, and I struggle with this at first. It was battling. I felt like for the first 9 months of this, I was just battling my own self, my own justifications, my own reasons, my own, all this stuff. At first, in the very beginning, I was struggling with battling what other people were saying. Oh, they said this. Oh, they said that. Oh, they said this. Oh, the science doesn't say this. Oh, the science. Looking for outs. Looking for outs. You're constantly looking for an out. You're constantly looking for an out. And I know you are. I know you are. All of us do. I did it too. I still do it from time to time. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to lie. It doesn't go away, but the frequency is less, the severity is less. Now I just have an internal fortitude that I didn't have before. I can't be, it's like those things don't even touch me anymore. They will come up every now and again, but they just don't. I just can't believe them. Like, that's the point you got to get to. You can't believe it like, it's not like you don't want to believe it. It's like you literally can't. You don't have the capacity to believe it anymore. That's the point you got to get to. I know why you do it. I know it. It is because this was our escape. This was our numbing. This was who you were for your entire life. This is, for me, this is who I was since I was 14 years old. Think about that. Since age 14. I'm 32. Started Semen Retention when I was 31. That's crazy. And that's how it is for most men. In this day and age, in the internet age, in the digital age, we got killed with this stuff. Killed. And you don't even realize, I promise you, the pain goes deeper than you think. The pain goes deeper than you think. I've had quite the last 24 hours. I won't go into it, but suffice to say, it's been quite overwhelming, which has been the impetus for this video. But I think I'm currently on 60 days right now. This is a 60-day day right here of my current streak. And so this is the PR. In unknown territory, uncharted waters, so to speak, in price discovery, if you want to use a financial term. But this was who we were. You understand? This was part of your identity. You're not just, semen retention is not just about like overcoming lust. It's literally about becoming a different person. At its most essential, semen retention, when you get to this point, when you finally get to the point of, I know that this is my path and I can't go back. I know it. I know it despite what anybody tells me, what I hear. I know this deep to my core. You feel called back to life. There is a calling back on your name, my guy. Oh yes, Oh, yes. You're being called back to it. You are being called back to life because you've been gone for too long. The world needs you. The world today desperately needs a man like you. And when you get to this point where you know this, and you know there's no going back, you've already passed that point. You are going to have to say goodbye. You're going to have to say goodbye. Semen retention is a goodbye. You see? It is a goodbye to who you have been your entire life. And man, when I tell you that goodbye, that goodbye is a tough one. That goodbye is a tough one. But you got to get to that point. You got to get to that point. You have to get to the point where you know that this is for you. There's no going back. You've already passed the, what do you call it? It's like the black hole, the event horizon. You've passed the event horizon. This thing is sucking you in, and you can't do anything about it. All you can do is say goodbye to who you were. Because unfortunately, that's not who you're gonna be anymore. And this goodbye is a lot more difficult than people think. The pain goes a lot deeper than you think. Trust me. Trust me. You'll know when this happens. You'll know. You'll know. Oh, you'll know. You'll know. When the goodbye happens, heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Because now you understand that, like, all the way up until this point, you were, how can I say it? You were, it was a battle. It was a battle every single day. It still is a battle, but there was still a little thing in your mind of, you're holding on. You were holding on. You were holding on still to who you were. You were still holding on to the old, lustful boy that was scared, that was traumatized, that was repressed, that did porn and masturbation, or maybe you're a sex addict or something, but for most of us, it was porn masturbation. That was the main escape, and you used it to numb yourself. You used it to get away from, we all have our pain, right? I don't know your pain. I don't know your pain. I don't know the specifics of your pain, but I know that you have pain. I know that you have pain. And in that way, I know you have pain because I have pain. It may not be the same pain, but it's pain. It still hurts. And now you have to, in this process of dealing with this pain, all this pain is now coming up. dealing with all these emotions that are coming up, you are going to have to say goodbye to the boy that was scared, that was full of fear, that wasn't ready to face reality, that couldn't face reality, that wanted to escape. I'm gonna use I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna use Lion King here. It's literally like Simba, his father dies, right? His father dies, he watches him die. The pain of that is so heavy, so traumatizing on him. He escapes, right? He goes out into the jungle or wherever. He went out into a desert and then it turned into a jungle, but went out to the desert. He just ran for miles and miles and miles, just running like you've been all your life. Run. Escape all of his duties, all of who he was. He wanted to forget it all. And he meets Timon and Pumbaa, who were just like, hey, yeah, carefree dudes, just like having a grand old time. No worries, be happy. Hakuna Matata. And he does that for years. He did that from a small cub all the way up until he was older. Years he did that. Spend it just hanging out, having a grand old time, forgetting. And that's what he was numbing. He was escaping. He was doing the exact same things that you were doing. Because you're not doing it anymore, are you? And I do advise, obviously, getting rid of the other escapes: alcohol, nicotine, food. If you're really addicted to food, it could be all manner of things. You know what your escapes are. But he escaped and he felt good. You felt good. But you didn't really. There was something always inside of you that was aching. There was incompleteness. There was something, there was a calling that you weren't answering. And you could see in Simba, he wasn't exactly satisfied. Came to the end there where he was very just dissatisfied. He was like, what's the point? Get to a very apathetic point. And then Rafiki, the monkey, comes along and shows him. He shows him who he is. You got to remember who you are. Look in the reflection. You are your father's son. Then he remembers. And that was the calling, right? That's the calling. This is your calling. Your name is being called. You need to remember who you are. Remember who you are, King. You've been gone for far too long. All of us have. Now, are you going to answer? Are you going to answer? That's it right there. Are you going to step up and become the man that you know you need to be? That you always should have been? The world needs you. Especially in these times. Man, inflation's going crazy. People are more broke than ever. People are more dissatisfied than ever. It's not like it was back in the 50s, 60s. Our parents had it way easier than us. We're going to require something supernatural to make it. We need this. You're going to require all the energy that you could possibly conjure up and that you're possibly capable of channeling. You're going to need all of it for what's coming. You're going to need it for the people that are going to come into your life, for the life that you're going to have, for the beautiful life that you're going to have with beautiful people, the life that you deserve. People will depend on you. They're out there waiting. The world needs you. You got to come back. You got to remember who you are. You are king. All right. That's it. That's the video.